Good evening, everybody. Dr. John Michael Salvato here, and this is the Peak Performance Blueprint, our Monday night strategies and tactics session, which is for Gold members and Inner Circle members of the Barefoot Millionaire Mastermind Peak Performance Blueprint. But we welcome everybody to watch this live, and then, of course, it's only available on the replay and in the archives for Gold members and above. If you'd like more information about the Peak Performance Blueprint, please feel free to visit us on the web at barefootmillionairemastermind.com. You'll see an interview on that page between myself and Jenny Jordan, and I'll explain a little bit more at that time about what we do here at the Peak Performance Blueprint. But let's go ahead and get started. And so what I want to do before we dive into tonight's training is just sort of a follow-up to last week's training when I shared with you guys about a new social network, or relatively new. It's almost 2 years old now. That friends of mine started, and I wanted to share with you guys last week how I'm using that to amplify my message on social media. And just as a pleasant aside, how surprised I was that the revenue sharing with that site has grown so much that the income really is growing exponentially. So I just want to show you guys what we're looking at. Now this is revenue. It's not profit. There are expenses that I've chosen to undertake with advertising on this platform and advertising products on this platform and things like that will come out of this dollar value that you see. This is just my balance, my revenue share balance, but it's still pretty exciting. So I want to share that with you. Just full disclosure, my actual profit when I'm able to cash out on this month, which will be 90 days from now, is probably going to be significantly less than you see on the screen. So don't, for those of you who are deciding to do this with us, don't expect that this number is something that 90 days from now I'm going to be making, so therefore you're going to make it. The actual dollar amount on 90 days from now is going to be somewhere between $150 and $200 profit based on my expenses. But let me go ahead and share with you just so that you could see. There we go. And so this is now after, I believe it's 2.5 weeks. And if you look at the top of the page, you'll see my my total right here is $998. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge that. So there you go. My balance is $998. There are expenses that are probably roughly $500 out of that right now, and then another $300 or $400 that are probably pending by the end of the month, by which time my total will be higher. So I'm expecting and projecting that I'm looking at about $150 to $200, which is not bad for simply going onto a social network and, as you can see, just posting videos and photos and just really trying to add value to my wall on this site. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm pretty excited that this is really turning out to be something that's going to allow us to help a lot of folks in developing countries who might not have access to a computer, might not have access to sell their goods and services on eBay or Amazon because they don't have the money to put up front, and they can use a platform like this and their cell phone to sell their wares. Particularly, I've got friends in Guatemala who do needle work, like embroidery work, beautiful custom embroidery, and they really can't sell on Amazon or eBay because they don't have the money to put up front. So just wanted to share that with you guys immediately, and now we'll go ahead and jump into the actual training tonight, which is something I'm pretty excited about sharing with you. That the idea is what do you say when you're talking to a prospect? Now this is whether you're talking to a prospect for a network marketing company, whether you're talking to a real estate or insurance prospect, whether you work in a retail store and you're approaching a prospect about giving them literature, giving them information. Maybe you're a car salesperson. Whenever you give somebody information, whether it's a website, a brochure, a DVD, or some other form of media, to look at and to get education from. This is the approach that was taught to me some 35 years ago, actually, probably just under 35 years ago tonight, which was tonight is the 35-year anniversary of when I got involved in this industry. So it was the following Saturday. It was a Tuesday night, I believe, and it was the following Saturday that I first had training from a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, who then went on to become my personal mentor for some 18 years after that. And so this approach was just absolutely brilliant. And what you do, and please put this in your notes because it's not going to appear in a blog article. Just the video of tonight's session will be available to the Gold and Inner Circle members, but there's no blog attached to that. But here's the 5 or 6 points to this sales presentation that resulted in my making over $345,000 my first year in the business in network marketing. I was 18 years old, so you can imagine what a huge income that felt like for me at that time. So the first thing you say is, if I did this, would you do this? So you hand somebody your business card with a website on it and say, John, if I gave you this website to take a look at, and you don't let go of the card yet, would you have time to watch the video on this card tonight or tomorrow? And you wait for them to respond. John's going to say, yeah, sure, I'll have time to do that. So again, it's if I did whatever, gave you this DVD, if I gave you my web address, if I gave you the link for this video, if I gave you this brochure, would you take time to watch the video, take time to review the brochure tonight, take time to go to the website and fill out the free tour, whatever it is, tonight? The person gets back, responds, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to say yes. Now what you want to do is you want to confirm 3 times with them. You want to say, when do you think that you could watch this for sure? All right, so now the person's going to say, well, I could watch it for sure tonight, if not tomorrow morning. Well, when do you think for sure? Tomorrow morning? Okay, so you want to get them to say, yes, that's what time. Whatever time they tell you, it's 8 o'clock. Okay, so you can watch it tomorrow morning for sure at 8 o'clock? And they say yes. Now you're going to confirm again. So if I called you at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you would have watched it for sure. And again, they're going to say yes. Now what you've just gotten them to do is, when you first say, hey, if I give you this DVD, would you take a look at it tonight? It's kind of up in the air. Their commitment isn't really solid. When you say, when could you watch this for sure? Now the commitment is becoming real. Now they're personalizing what you're giving them, and they're looking at their own schedule, and they're making a commitment to themselves. They're not really making that commitment to you. Chances are pretty good they might not even know who you are, so they're not going to make a commitment to you. They're making this commitment to themselves. So the next thing you say is when do you think you can watch it for sure? They tell you what time. You say, so if I called you tomorrow at sometime after when they made their commitment, you would have watched it for sure, right? And let that person tell you. Now, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to give them the DVD and say, here's a DVD, can you watch it, and then give them the time, by tomorrow at 2 o'clock? A lot of people teach that. But that's not their schedule. That's your schedule. That's your agenda. So you just say, if I could give you this DVD, would you take the time to watch it? Yes. Okay, when do you think you could take the time to watch it? Tomorrow. Okay, when tomorrow? 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I called you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you would have had time to watch this video for sure. Now they're going to say yes again. This is the 3rd time that person has said yes. Psychological studies tell us that if you can get a person to say yes 3 times or 4 times in a row, the sale is practically made for you. You've got to condition the client to be in a positive and an affirmative mood. And so that mindset that you create is by asking questions that the answer is always going to be yes to. So you ask them, you confirm the first time, the second time. So if I call you at whatever time, you would have watched it for sure? Yes. Okay, and then you say, when is the best time for us to touch base about this? Well, tomorrow at 2 would be good. Or, well, 2 o'clock is hard because I'm going to be at work. Let's talk tomorrow at 5 o'clock when I get home. Or let's talk at 8 o'clock. And then put that on your calendar, confirm it back to them, and then the next and most important thing that you're going to do is get off the phone, or end the conversation if it's live. If you just handed somebody a business card, say, "Hey, great, I'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. I've got to run," and end the conversation. They may try and press you for more information. They may have questions for you about, well, what's on the DVD. Your job is not to answer the questions and do a sales presentation there. When that happens, you're not in control of the situation. So you want to put yourself in a position of always being in control of that interview. And it's going to be an interview, whether you're selling a car, you're selling real estate, you're selling network marketing products, you're selling your services as a consultant. The first conversation that you have with that person beyond the initial pitch is an interview. It's an interview to find out what their needs are, to find out what the point of suffering for them is. And your job isn't to sell the product. Your job is to sell the problem. So you listen to the person, and you're going to mirror back to them whatever their greatest need is. And then you've just got to sell that problem. And if the problem's big enough, I'll put it into context in just a second. If the problem's big enough, then their desire for a solution is going to be equally great. So if we're talking, in our case, we work with folks who are looking to lose weight. And so when I'm talking to somebody, I'll ask them, so how much weight have you got to lose? Oh, about 15 or 20 pounds. What have you tried before that didn't work? Oh, I tried everything. I tried exercising. I went to the gym for about 2.5 minutes. I didn't lose weight. I bought, all these products from television. I tried, this product and that product. And so what was the most disappointing part about it? Well, all these products wanted you to drink 2 shakes in place of meals and eat 1 meal. And I was always hungry. And so you say, I understand that. Weight loss is difficult. And so many people try to lose weight. They try to lose weight by starving themselves, and starving themselves doesn't work. In fact, in most cases, the people who try that gain extra weight, or they take off a few pounds, and then as soon as they go back to eating a normal diet, they gain more weight back than they had when they started. Has that been your experience? Yeah, that's been my experience. Well, I can truly understand and appreciate what you're going through. Now, you might tell your story at that point. You might tell somebody else's story if you didn't have to lose weight. But at that point, you've sold the problem. And so you say, I hear what you're saying. Let me share with you what I found. And then you share with them that your experience, somebody else's experience, the experience that that somebody else taught you, or that you heard on a conference call, or whatever. You share, you make that solution real. And you say, so, I just want to put that out there. If there's any opportunity or any chance that you need my help, please don't hesitate to let me know. That's what I'm here for. I understand how difficult it is to lose weight, and I'm here on your side. That's it. I didn't ask them to buy a product. I didn't ask them to look at a website to see the product in that case. I would have already sent them to the website if we had that conversation. Now, that person might say, well, tell me more about your product. Now we move into that pitch that we just shared with you, that strategy that we just shared. You say, well, if I give you the web address, would you have time tonight to watch a video? It's about 5 minutes long that'll explain how the product works and how this entire program works. They're going to tell you yes, and you're going to say, when do you think you could watch it? Well, I could watch that tonight. Fantastic. So what time tonight? Oh, by 8 o'clock. Great. So if I called you back at 9 o'clock tonight or 8:30 tonight, you would have watched that video for sure? Yeah, I'm sure I would have watched it by then. Fantastic. Well, let's do that. Let me call you at 9 o'clock tonight, and then I can answer any questions that you might have, and help you explore your options for getting this weight off permanently. And I'll look forward to talking to you then. I got to run. That's it. That's how simple this is. As we said on last week's call, my goal is to share with you guys a strategy that you can implement in 15 minutes or less that can make a huge difference that coming week in your business. So the idea here, unlike our daytime calls where we have long discussions about our experience and my opinion and your opinion and all of that, this is really more just a strategy session. So at the end now we open this up. And by the way, I just want to mention that for those of you who are inclined to do so, every Monday night this is open to all members, even the bronze members are welcome to come in here. 15 minutes before we go live, you're welcome to come in here and ask. It's Q&A, open Q&A. It's not recorded. And anything is on the table. So it'll just give me more ideas for future sessions based on your questions. So you could show up from anytime from when I send that link up until the hour, up until 8 o'clock Eastern time, and it's open questions. Now the questions we're gonna open up to are specific to this approach. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody's microphone, and anyone who has any questions or comments, feel free to make them. Anyone? I did that great of a job.
You did.
Good.
I'm taking notes.
Excellent. Well, guys, that concludes that, and we actually did well. 8:16. I don't think I've ever stayed that much on time in my life. So that concludes tonight's strategy session. If you have any questions that come up for you, maybe half an hour from now, you say, "Oh my gosh, now I'm confused," or "I just thought of a question I should have asked." Feel free to shoot them to me in the Facebook group. That's a great place for these Monday night questions to be handled. And again, I just want to make sure that for folks who you can go back, if you're a gold member or above, you can watch the replay of this in the Peak Performance Blueprint website. Just go to Gold Resources, and it's right there on the page. But again, I just really want to make sure that I make a very clear disclaimer. When I showed you my income on Empower at the start of this program, and I don't even remember what it was, that's just how detached I am from that part of it, $998.40. I want you to understand that is my balance. That's the revenues that I've generated by posting, but there are going to be expenses that come out of that. So my profit by the end of the 90-day period, when that income matures, my available profit will be significantly less. In fact, I'm going to wrap this up. I just realized a place where I could show you, as another little bit of training, how you can tell exactly what that is. Now, we're going to pretend that we're coming up on 90 days. So I would click on my balance, and I'll click on detail. And there we go. So at the top of the page, it says earnings not yet fully matured, not yet 90-day matured, is $846.07. Earnings fully matured is 0 at the moment. Early cash outs, there's $2.97 available for me to cash out right now. Early cash outs awaiting activation, there's none right now. And pending income, that's from sales and things like that, is $149.36. So my total balance in my account right now is $998.40. Now, if I go back one page, or we'll do this, I'll go, and this is just, again, in the interest of full disclosure, so that you guys can see what the potential is here. My lifetime earnings in the last, let's say this is the second week. This is the beginning of the second week of August. So in the last 2 weeks, my lifetime earnings with this platform is $1,059.96. So I've already spent a good portion of that. You can see right here my daily revenue is $131. I've already spent a fairly good portion of that on advertising and platform fees and things like that. If you scroll down on the page, you'll get every once a day. You'll get a little balance sheet like this that says what your Empower earnings are. I think the subject says you got paid. And if you scroll down, this Kathy, this is specifically for you.
Yeah.
Here are those optimization settings that they say are somewhere on a sidebar, which they're not. So they'll be in the email. You can see here it says good start for the month. I'm in the light green, so I'm not fully optimized yet. I'm maximizing my network. That means there's room to grow it. Monetizing my network, I'm in the middle of that light green, which means that I'm still I haven't filled my goals for the day today. So once I fill the goals, it'll come right back down here to about there as well. But that's where you find that information out. And then this just tells you that the averages since Empower started, revenue on the first month is $200. The second month is $790. So in my first month, I've already surpassed the first 2 months, and I'm working on the income that's usual for the third month now in my second week. So it's really been awesome. But like I said to Kathy earlier, the benefit, stop sharing, the real benefit for that platform is for cultivating new relationships. I've met some incredible people on that platform, and I'm cultivating relationships with those people every single day, and that for me is priceless. The revenue, I may end up with a couple $100 in 90 days. That's fantastic. That'll definitely be used well. But that's not the objective here. The objective is really to be cultivating better relationships than I could even cultivate on Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus. So I just now made us go over my commitment on time, which just doesn't surprise me. But I hope you guys got value from this tonight. I encourage you, as always, to stay in the moment, to be grateful for what you've got. That grateful heart is the heart of a servant leader, and that servant leader's heart will open you up to the abundance that's your birthright. And always remember, my friends, the best is yet to come. We'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.